All right, we are interrupting sport to take you back to Abu Dhabi, where President Donald Trump is speaking on his last stop of his Gulf tour. Let's listen in.
Anything like it, actually. And I'm quoting sources that don't particularly prefer me. This has not been anything like what we've done in the last 4 days. But I want to thank His Highness. I want to also thank His Highness Sheikh Tahnoon for welcoming us to this beautiful, beautiful palace, beautiful place. Just generally, thank you all. Thank you very much. It was very exciting. I also want to recognize all of the officials here from the area, as well as the many extraordinary business leaders with us today. We have some of the biggest business leaders, and they've been here over the last couple of days. And, you know, there's a great relationship with Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and UAE. There's great friendships. I can tell you that at the top level, the relationship and friendship is good. It's a really unified Middle East. It's something that we haven't seen. The U.S. was absent for 4 years. We didn't really know too much what we were doing for 4 years, and things were not going good. Other people were courting the Middle East, but they won't even waste their time in courting them any longer. The people in this room have helped commence between the United States and United Arab Emirates grow $34 billion a year, America's second highest total in the Middle East, and catching, but you know, the other one's going up very quickly also. The United States has also put $19.5 billion trade surplus with UAE, and we are really thriving economically. And over the last period of time, we started it 8 years ago, the relationship. Then it was interrupted, as you know, it was sadly interrupted, and not much happened. Nothing happened, actually. But the relationship is now at a much higher level than it ever was, and it's going to only go in one direction because of the relationship. We have American companies, we have Exxon, Oracle, RTX, Qualcomm, and many others, too many to name. Disney, I see that new theme park is going to be incredible. Bob Iger was in my office the other day, and he was showing it to me. It's going to be incredible. But we're making great progress toward a $1.4 trillion that UAE has announced that it intends to spend in the United States over the next couple of years. Yesterday, the two countries also agreed to create a path for UAE to buy some of the world's most advanced AI semiconductors from American companies, a very big contract. This will generate billions and billions of dollars in business and accelerate the UAE's plans to become a really major player in artificial intelligence. And I read where the oil and gas and oil is great, but you're going to have equally big and maybe even bigger at some point. You'll be surpassing it with AI and other businesses. So that's a great tribute to the job you've done here. The United Arab Emirates is also making incredible strides in industries like energy, real estate, and manufacturing. And I see it just in the drive out. And when you look at this building is amazing. We were here last night in the big auditorium, and it's amazing. There's really nothing like it. The global aluminum from the Emirates has been the talk of the aluminum business. They're very big with aluminum. And now they're going to be spending a tremendous amount of money in one of my favorite places, Oklahoma, on expansion. And I said, just build your plant inside the United States and you have no tariffs. And that's exactly what they're doing. And that's what many, many companies are doing, the auto companies, all of them. There's never been anything like what's happening right now to the United States, I can tell you. Nothing. There's never been anything like it. We're at a level that no country has seen, I don't believe. We have, every time I meet, I usually increase it by about $1 trillion because we get news of another investment. But we're probably in the $12 to $13 trillion range of investments. And you can have a administration go for years and not have anything like that. And not only not that, have less than $8 trillion. And I think we're heading toward the $12 to $13 trillion between projects already announced, mostly announced, but some are going to be announced very shortly, and literally very shortly. And two things are the factor. Number one, November 5th, that was the election. We had the most successful election that, in memory, they said one of the major media sources said the most consequential election in 129 years. And that gives us a mandate. It gives us a mandate to do the right things for businesses. We can do what we want to do because there's so much incompetence shown in the last 4 years that people just don't want that. They don't want to have that anymore, whether it's the border where people pour into our country without being even checked or looked at. 21 million people, many of them are not the people you want. I'm going to be very nice because this is a little bit different setting, but they're not the people you want. But we now have 99.9% closed. Nobody thought that was possible. We had a very successful border the first time. I won the election the first time in 2016 because of the border. We made it very good, very fast, but now it's even at a new level because I built hundreds of miles of wall, which we didn't have in the first election because I hadn't started that yet. But we will soon have a very safe country. We're getting people out. We need help from the courts. The courts are trying to think that they're taking privilege that they shouldn't have. That was not what the election was all about. The election was they want people that shouldn't be there, people that are criminals in many cases. They want them out. They want them out. We're going to get them out fast. We just reached a fantastic trade deal, as you know, with the United Kingdom, which was wonderful. And we have another big one that we just reached with China. The China deal is a very big deal. It's in the process of continuing to be formed. But they wanted to make that deal very badly. And we have, at the same time, 150 countries that want to make a deal, but you're not able to see that many countries. So at a certain point over the next 2 to 3 weeks, I think Scott and Howard will be sending letters out, essentially telling people, it would be very fair, but we'll be telling people what they'll be paying to do business in the United States. So essentially be paying to be doing business in the United States. I guess you could say they could appeal it, but for the most part, I think we're going to be very fair. But it's not possible to meet the number of people that want to see us. And but this was coming to UAE was very important. Coming to Saudi Arabia and Qatar was very important to me because of personal relationships that I had, maybe more than anything else. So it's been an amazing period of time. People have said very, very, I mean, I don't know, we're developing a lot of fans, but people have said they've never seen anything like's taken place over the last 4 days in terms of investment, in terms of the kind of money coming back into the United States. And all that money, the money is a nice word, but it's really jobs. We have jobs that are at a level that we very soon will not be able to, nobody can duplicate it. And people want to be our partner. They want to be investing in the United States. And they weren't doing that. They weren't happy with the United States for a pretty long period of time. So we've done something that I'm very proud of. We'll be heading back now, and I look forward to that. We'll go back to D.C. I just had a little announcement of a beautiful grandchild, a boy, Tiffany and Michael. So we're very excited about that. I look forward to that. I probably should have left yesterday, but I couldn't disappoint you. Your father would have been extremely upset with me, and you would have been more upset.
He would have understood.
We had such a beautiful evening, and they planned it so beautifully. I said, I'm going to have to wait just a little bit. But the way we were treated by your family, the way we were treated by Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and others has just been so I'm very proud to be representing the United States of America. And thank you all for being here. And media, thank you very much. You've been very fair. Thank you very much.
Mr.
I apologize. We've lost our news feed. We were taking live pictures, a live news conference of U.S. President Donald Trump. He's speaking in Abu Dhabi on his final stop, final leg of his Middle East tour that started in Saudi Arabia on Monday night. He was speaking about the great business investments that he has been able to get Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates, and how he's been able to get them to invest in the United States, very much focusing on that. He spoke of the trade surplus that the U.S. has with the United Arab Emirates. He said that's not something that the U.S., of course, has with most countries, and it's something that this U.S. president is very focused on as trade deficits or trade imbalances as he sees them. He said that the United Arab Emirates announced that it would spend more than $1 trillion in the U.S. Let's bring in our White House correspondent, Kimberly Halkett, because she is joining us on set. Kimberly, it's great to have you here.
Thank you.
With us, especially since you have been following Trump on this tour so far. Interesting comments. He said that coming to the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia and Qatar was very important because of the personal relationships, he said, more than anything else. This is a president who believes in personal relationships, and he's trying to say that he's been able to leverage all of this economic investment in the U.S. because of his personal relationships with people.
Yeah, Donald Trump is famously transactional, but he also conducts government like a CEO. And so that is how he also sort of approaches diplomacy. That's how he gets things done. He's a king deal maker, and he's proven that. And so he's now tallying up what he's accomplished in the last 4 days. And so now he's going to go back to the American people and say, look, I made you promises and I've kept them. And here's my score sheet. In Saudi Arabia, I had $600 billion in deals. I did $243 billion in Qatar. And I've got you in orders now from UAE. I'm going to be making sure that there are Boeing airplanes that are being made, and this is going to be jobs, and GE engines are going to be in them. And this is going to translate to good things for the American people. He's saying he's ushering in a golden era. Donald Trump has to deliver for the American people, and he's making good on those promises. But it's also something else. Donald Trump needs this right now because tariffs are kicking in. The prices are going up, and he promised he was going to bring prices down. So he's got a little bit of a problem. He needs good headlines, but he also needs to have this distraction because it's going to be a little bit tough for him given the fact that there's going to be this kind of tense period while some of these prices are high when he said they would be low until things sort of work themselves out with the tariffs.
Okay, and all of the business deals which have very much been the focus of this trip, that aside, we've also seen some really big geopolitical, at least one breakthrough on this trip, with Trump announcing while he was in Saudi Arabia that he intends to get Congress, I suppose, to lift sanctions on Syria, even meeting the transitional president, Ahmed al-Sharaa, the next day in Saudi Arabia, which really surprised everyone.
That was massive. It was huge. There were hints that this was going to happen, but no one thought that the lifting of sanctions in Syria was going to happen. So the fact that this did happen, there was the thunderous applause in Saudi Arabia and the standing up. And then the meeting that happened on the sidelines of the GCC was enormous. But even more so, the sit down was an embrace of the future of Syria. But that was one breakthrough. Then there was the other one, and that was Donald Trump saying we're close to a deal in Iran of potentially limiting that nuclear program. Things have been so hot, and the fear that there could be a spiraling of things in the broader Middle East as a result of that. So the fact that that could potentially be at a breakthrough was another sign that things were turning around. And then the fact that there was some advancement in Ukraine. It wasn't the development people were hoping. People were hoping there was going to be a sit-down between Vladimir Putin and Vladimir Zelensky. It didn't happen. But the other thing is things are still moving along, albeit slowly, and that was another development simultaneously. So there were these two tracks. There was the commerce track and there was the diplomatic track.
That's our White House correspondent, Kimberly Halkett. For now, thank you very much, Kimberly.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.